Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tony here, and I came across this meme a few days ago. I found it on the internet. Apparently, it's a couple years old, but the way it goes is you have 9 options to choose from, and you have to pick 2 of them to defend you while the other 7 are coming to kill you. And for you guys out there that like those castle defense style games, I think this is the perfect thought experiment for you. Anyway, your choices are you get 50 golden eagles, or 10 saltwater crocodiles, or 3 grizzly bears, or 7 Spanish fighting bulls. That's what it looks like. One guy with what looks like a 12 gauge shotgun, or 15 wolves, or 10,000 brown rats, or 5 lowland gorillas, or 4 lions. And you have to pick 2 of these options to defend you while the other 7 come to kill you. Now, I already did the liberty of going online and looking up how fast these animals run in order to compare their speed to each other. And this is basically what I came up with, basically arranging them by strength and by speed as best as I can. And let me tell you, the speed dynamic amongst these choices is absolutely crazy. Now, I didn't put the human on this chart right here because I didn't think it was fair, because he's got a bullet and his bullet travels way faster than he can run. So there's no real accurate way to judge the human, because do you judge his running speed, or do you judge how fast a bullet is coming? Because if we go by just a bullet, then he's off the charts. If we go by him running, he's probably slower than most of these animals that are listed here. But anyway, the rats on the extreme slow end only run at about a measly 9 miles per hour. Meanwhile, the speed of eagles is absolutely broken. Eagles can reach a top speed of about 100 miles per hour in the air. That's absolutely crazy. In terms of strength, basically the lion, the bear, and the buffalo take it. The gorilla is kind of an all-arounder. The crocodile's pretty strong too, but basically if you're going for just brute strength, either the bear or bull is probably going to be your best bet. So a lot of you'll look at the chart and you'll think, okay, I want something really strong, I want something really fast, I'm just going to go with the bear and the lion and call it a day. Or you'd probably pick the bear and the wolves. But I want you to think very carefully about this. The animals that you do not pick are going to kill you, or they're going to try to kill you. And the animals that are attacking you, their job is not to attack your defenders. Their job is to attack you. So say, for example, you pick the bears as your defender because of their great strength. Well, if you have the wolves attacking you, maybe half of these wolves would be enough to keep the bears busy, while the rest of them just run around the bears and come and rush you down. And I don't care how much track you ran in high school, you're not outrunning a wolf. With that out of the way, basically what we're going to do is I'm going to eliminate these one by one until I whittle it down to the 2 that I think would be the best option. So the most obvious poor option that I think we could get rid of right off the bat are the bulls. Bulls are too stupid to defend you effectively. Not only that, but their only real means of attacking is using their horns. If something gets around them, they're not going to be able to rush it down. I mean, you have human bullfighters are able to outmaneuver bulls. Imagine what a pack of wolves could do to a bull. And the crocodiles also have the same problem. Crocodiles run out of stamina very quickly. Not only that, but they're only good on water. If you put them on land, they pretty much suck. You could get around it pretty easily. The wolves could probably just ignore the crocodiles and run around them completely, and there'd be nothing that the crocodiles could do to catch up to the wolves unless the wolves jumped in water. So the fact that the crocodile can only help you underwater and it's slow on land makes it not a very good defense option unless this battle were taking place in a pond or a swamp or something. The next choice that you'd not want to have on your team are the bears. The bears are just too bulky. Yes, they have a burst of speed for a short period of time, but then they're going to run out of stamina and get tired just too quickly. Not only that, there's only 3 of them. That's hardly enough to form a proper defensive perimeter around you. Like I said, the wolves could run around them. The lions could run around them. The rats could run around them. The eagles could fly straight over them. There's pretty much nothing that the bears could stop outright except for maybe the gorilla or the bulls. And that leads me to the gorilla being a sucky choice too, because the gorilla pretty much has the same problem as the bears. Since they're only giving you a handful of them, that's not enough to form an effective defensive perimeter. Say the lions or the wolves or even the rats were coming at you, the gorilla would only be able to stop a few of them, but the rest would just run right past him and come straight for you. Now, just because an animal is fast and capable of running past your defenders doesn't mean it has the stamina to keep up with that pace and to come down and rush you down. Like the lions would probably tire pretty quickly before they could get to you, because think about it, say the lions start to get into a tango with the bears or the wolves, that would tire them out so much that they would need to stop and rest and take a break. And in that time of resting and taking a break, that's time that their opposing animal would spend picking them off. You ever see that when a group of lions take down a buffalo or something like that, usually you'll see them rest and catch their breath before they proceed to eat it. It's because lions don't have the best stamina. So I don't think they'd be an effective choice either. And sadly, the wolves would have to divide their attention too much, and that would stop them from being an effective defense, because most of these animals on this list could one-shot a wolf if they get an angle on it. The bulls could trample a wolf. The crocodiles could tear off a wolf's leg with ease. The bear could smack the wolf in the face and knock it out. The lion could scratch the wolf to death. The gorilla could probably punch the wolf hard enough to break bones. So when you look at this, the wolves are basically a glass cannon. They're kind of too weak to really do anything. I don't care that you get 15 of them. So that leaves us with the 3 best choices. Obviously, I'm going to keep the human on my team because he's got a gun. Because if you let him be on the opposite team, he could just shoot you. Not only that, but the human has the intelligence where we can communicate with each other. I can say, hey, look behind you. Hey, look over there. Hey, look up. There go the eagles. Speaking of which, the eagle is an interesting situation because the human is really the only one that has an effective countermeasure against the eagles. The eagles could literally ignore everything else on this list and just fly down and get you. The only thing that could stop the eagles is the man with the gun. He could put bird shot in his shotgun, point it up, and just fire and just be shooting eagles out of the sky left and right. Now, when he has to reload, that could obviously present something of a problem, but if he stays on target and is very conservative with his shots, then he could probably take out more than one eagle at a time if they attack him as a flock. And I imagine that the sound of the gun going off would probably scare some of them away, and then they would have to come back and try to attack again. I don't think the eagles are the best choice simply because they could be shot down so easily by the human. And that leads me to what I think is the best team. 10,000 brown rats and the hunting partner with the shotgun. The shotgun, he could put slugs in there to deal with the lions and bears. His buckshot should be pretty much good enough for everything else, and he could even use bird shot on the eagles. So he's got so many choices of ammunition to use, and I think that that would give him the greatest advantage. Now, the rats. Oh, let's talk about these rats. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Willard, but a swarm, I know it was fiction, but a swarm of rats can pretty much pick anything apart on this list. Imagine 10,000 rats just rolling over a bear, pecking it in the eyes, maybe eating its soft tissues. Maybe enough of them could bite through the thick hide to get into the bear's organs. Even the crocodile is not safe from the bear. It's got the toughest skin of everything on this list, but even still, it has a soft underbelly. And you know, rats are also great swimmers, so it would basically be like piranhas except with fur and tails. I mean, imagine a bunch of Chuck E. Cheeses just going to town on a poor helpless alligator. So I'm going to actually give you a visual representation of how I think this fight would go. So here's me over here in the corner. I've got my hunting partner with the shotgun, and I've got my swarm of rats just all around me defending me. I think that the first animal that would come to attack would probably be the eagles because they have the height advantage. They have the best vision in the entire fight. So they would notice me first and swoop in for the kill. That's when my hunting buddy would basically just blow them away with the bird shot. He would just be pelting the sky with bullets. He'd basically be like an anti-air tank, just shredding through the helpless eagles. So after that happens, the noise of that commotion would attract the lions and the wolves because they're fast enough to just rush there on time. But then that's when the rats come, crowd them, and just roll them under and just start goring them and just pecking them to death. I mean, imagine the rats just crawling in the lion's mouth, just ripping out his tongue, pecking the eyes, biting the nose, biting the same organs on the wolf. It would be basically an irritation. I mean, chewing through their ears, for crying out loud. It would be such a bloody bloodfest. Then the crocodile tries to swim up like he's doing something until he realizes that rats are great swimmers too, and they basically just swarm him, and it becomes a bloody mess. So that eliminates half the competition right there already. The animals that have less stamina, like the bulls and the bears, they would finally come, but then the rats would just roll over them too and just completely demolish them. Any bulls that survive the rat attack, any bears that survive the rat attack would be suffering from so much blood loss that once my hunter loads his shotgun with slugs, he could pretty much just pick them off because they're already out of stamina to begin with. So he does that. He just shoots them and they're gone. There's no chance for them. And then the gorilla shows up, and it doesn't even matter at this point because he just gets rolled under as well. So that's how I think this would go. Let me know in the comments below what you would pick for this fight.